Okay, I'm not going to be able to help you out. I'm trying very, very hard to show you that this is laws. Laws has got the glasses. They're kind of laws. Hello, my name is not Lars, and I'm the person who was here before Lars. I was the one that was captured. No, they didn't say captured. They said I was the one who was inducted. Inducted? No, they're not sure about that. No, I was captured by Pindar, the reptilian Draco. Pindar's from an off-planet group, uh, not necessarily. It's possible that the reptilians were predecessors to mammalian advanced intelligence. You know, just imagine in the years of the dinosaurs, and we remember all of the big dinosaurs and the nasty dinosaurs. The Velociraptor. Well, what if you took the Velociraptor and put him in a three-piece suit? Do you think that perhaps a Velociraptor, could run a corporation? Well, just think about it. Or maybe there just had to be a bit more evolution in the reptilian lineage. They had to get the forebrain, you know. And then they got wiped out by a comet hitting Mexico. I guess I got a lot of problems. I've got a lot of problems with fossil record is I don't know. I don't know. It's when they say, these animals disappeared from the fossil record, and they're talking about could be hundreds of millions of years that something went on. Well, hundreds of millions of years, it's ridiculously a long time for life. When human as they are only thousands of years old, millions is ridiculous. And to think that somehow the reptilians couldn't evolve, and maybe could have evolved on other planets, but they could have evolved right here. And then they became very advanced technical and gained superpowers. Anyways, Pindar is the king of the reptilian species, and Pindar is the one in charge of capturing Bob and making him do silly talks like what he's doing now instead of something productive. Now, what are we going to do? Well, once in a while, Pindar has come through. I've channeled. Do you know what channeling means? Channeling means you get into a quiet space and maybe you close your eyes and maybe you don't. But you plan to allow other beings to talk through your body. That's called channeling. And I do that. Yeah, it's uncontrollable. They do it, really. I'm the one, I'm not really choosing to channel. It just happens. Yeah, I'm not much of a chooser at all. No, no, believe it or not, I don't choose. Things just happen. And, do I make plans for things? Like maybe I should plan instead of just not choosing. Well, I know, but I was captured by Pindar the reptilian. Well, what if the well, maybe they're just not even reptilian. Maybe they don't look reptilian, but they're reptilian in nature because they they don't use their heart. They close their heart chakra. Close it. And then they become reptilians. And, well, there was just something that was in the paper today, and I just had to bring it up. There was the Canadian leader of the NDP, the New Democratic Party, the Socialist Party, He was saying the high cost of living in Canada is the problem. It's a problem caused by landlords. I'm sorry, Mr. Singh. You're the stupidest bugger that ever arrived on North American shores. Why don't you get on a plane and fly back to Punjab, where you're from? I can't help it. I'm a racist when it comes to Canada. I want my Canada the way I want it, white. It's very easy to get into a racist diatribe when you're talking about somebody. But let's face it, this jackass Singh refuses to wear his hair like a normal Canadian. He wants to bring Punjab to Canada. He's got a huge beard and a turban. I'm sorry. We're a country that's led by science, not religion. I don't want a religionist to be the Prime Minister of Canada. It's waving your flag of you're I don't know, you're foreign to me. I don't like this multiculturalism. Where's my culture? White culture. Why can't I have a country on the planet that's white culture? That's where I was born. 1965, I was born in Canada. It was white culture. And I'm sorry if you feel like somehow the white people did you wrong, but they built Canada into a great country. They did a good job. So you can come here to Canada and enjoy the benefits of white society. And let's face it, white society was the one that opened the door to multiculturalism. We said, we're going to welcome the world to the place that we've built. It's so good. And we had anti-racism. It wasn't scientific. Our schools are built on science in Canada. Science rules. And the economics of the housing problem in Canada are not due to landlords. They're due to open door policy of letting in so many immigrants that there's nowhere to house them. Immigrants and students, incredible numbers of students. Where are they going to live? You've got to build housing for them before they come. You don't open the door, and then once they're here saying, oops, there's nowhere for anyone to live, so the market goes up, 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 because it's a market still when it comes to housing. The high cost of living is because there's too much immigration. Too many foreign students. If you want that, then you've got to build for it beforehand. It's all done ass backwards. So for Mr. Singh to say somehow that it's the landlords that have caused the problem means he's a jackass. So if I cut off his beard and take off his turban and give him a haircut and make him look like a normal human being, I could sit down over a beer with Mr. Singh and try and straighten him out. He wants to spend a fortune. Who's going to pay for it, Mr. Singh? You? You left India for whatever reason. Go back. This is a socialist place. We don't want socialist. We don't want communist. There's no way to run a country. To tax the private sector to death and tax people to death. And then blame landlords. Landlords are just guys like me. They were born in Canada. They worked. They put their money into their first house, and then they went and they built their own second house. And then they rent the first house. Preventing what's it preventing? It's not preventing anything. It's opening up rental housing. Because somebody had the gumption to get off their ass and do something with their life. And you're blaming landlords for the high prices. No, it's supply and demand. It's basic economics. How can you be a leader of a Canadian political party and not understand economics, Mr. Singh? Supply and demand. The demand is huge because we've got too many people in Canada for the housing supply. It's not the landlord's fault. It's the federal government's fault. It's the Liberal NDP government. It's you, Mr. Singh. You, Mr. Singh, are the reason why the high prices are in Canada. You and your Liberal buddies have let in too many people. Too many foreigners. Too many. That's the problem. Too much demand for a limited supply of housing. It's not the landlord's fault. It's your fault, Singh. Now get on the goddamn plane and go back to Punjab and start your own goddamn state in that socialist paradise. I don't want your socialist paradise here in Canada. If you were born in Canada, well then, Jesus Christ, we've made a whole huge mess out of you. I don't know how you can go to Canadian schools and as an adult man walk around wearing your turban. You're supposed to be what we call assimilated. Assimilated into what was once white society. That was the whole idea behind the 60s scoop and other processes to take the indigenous people off the land and turn them into regular white guys. Who you could have a beer with and play hockey with. I don't feel like I can have a beer with a communist. But I have this discussion with you over the phone. Why do we say get back on the boat? Well, it was because it was on the Canadian news. The people came by boat. The boat people, that's what they were called. So when we want foreigners to leave white America, we say get back on the boat or get back on the plane and go back where you came from. Because you thought it was better here, or you got it in your head somehow that whatever you came from, your culture, needs to expand into other people's cultures. You're a cultural parasite. We already had a culture in Canada. It was a good culture. It was. Multiculturalism is a disaster. All we hear about when it comes to people is what criminal gang they belong to. That's what we've got from the Punjab. Criminal gangs. And Mr. Singh, leader of the NDP, the Communist Party of Canada. Nothing good has come out of Punjab. Except for the people who assimilated and became successful. And maybe some of them are landlords. Are you going to call me a racist, Mr. Singh? A white nationalist? Then you don't understand me. I'm a comic. And I play characters. And this character is the old white guy who's watching this mess. Meanwhile, Mr. Putin is preparing to conquer the world, and you're doing nothing to protect Canada from Putin. Nothing. We get in a shooting war, and we're unprepared. And that falls to your friend, Mr. Trudeau, and who you support. So it falls to you. What do you stand for, Singh? What do you stand for? What are your Canadian values? Communist. It didn't work in India. Turned India into an economic basket case. The landlords have not caused this problem, Singh. You caused the problem. Too many immigrants, too many foreign students. What's my religion, Singh? Why do I have to advertise whether I've got a religion or not? It's part of your religion to advertise. It's a political stunt. That's all it is. Is your calculus that somehow you dressed up in full attire of whatever you want to call it, somehow that makes you more honest. It's a free country. Wear what the hell you want. Don't expect me not to criticize you. That's what you want. You want it so that I can't criticize you. At all. Because you get dressed up in a clown suit with a dunce cap. It's politics. It's hardball, Singh. It's real. What are your answers? What's the use? You need to go back to school and take Economics 101. Or you got some communist textbook that you're using. Are you expecting me to tell you what to do? You fucked it up super bad.